So in the main, there's two main uses for a twin VFO radio that I can think of. But there's also a third that I discovered by accident. Let's get into it. So a 2 VFO radio is basically two radios in one box. And very often people will use it, particularly DXs hunting DX pile-ups. They'll listen to the DXer, the DX station on one VFO. They'll listen to the pile-up on the other, and they'll work out whereabouts the pile-up is talking. You might say between 5 and 10 up. They'll spin around and they'll hear a German station 7.5 kilohertz up, and you'll know that's where the DX station is listening. So he can listen to both at the same time. So that's the first main use of a 2 VFO radio. The second the second reason is that you can be on 20 meters on one antenna on the main VFO, listening on a CB vertical or something on the 10 meter band on the other VFO, spinning around just to see if it's open or not. And there might be another way you use a twin VFO radio, I don't know. But I'll tell you my third way. And honestly, how I discovered this was a complete accident. So I'm heading down, particularly 20 and below, 40 and below ideally. But let's just head into the 40 meter territory a minute. Yesterday, I was down here and there was an ON station from Belgium. He was doing a POTA thing or something. And it was a bit of a pile-up. And it was quite interesting because I had UK stations on the one hand, as far away as a guy in Italy, middle of the afternoon, early afternoon, on 40 metres. So all the signals, if you think about it, are arriving at different angles. The guy from 100 miles away, he's kind of NVIS. His signal is coming down pretty sharpish. The guy in Italy is probably much shallower, right? So my vertical picks up the longer distances better than, let's say, a low to the ground dipole. So how I was operating it yesterday was on my left VFO, I had my vertical, I was listening. I wasn't transmitting yesterday, I was just faffing about. And on the right-hand side, I had my low to the ground delta loop. Now, if you are new to the channel, you won't know about this, but it's about 8 feet high, about 2.5 meters off the ground. It's a triangle, and it's a superb low noise listening antenna. It transmits really well as well, and it does 40, 20, 15 and 10 without any tuners or anything. It's just a 4-to-1 balun. I think it's 38 meters all the way around. And I put my headphones on, and I will play you some of these clips in a minute. But effectively what is happening is this. The longer, like the guy in Germany, right, or the station in Germany, because it might not be a guy, and Italy coming through very clearly on my vertical. And the guy locally is coming, or the station locally, is coming through very well on the delta loop. But there's a mix and match. So I went into the menu. I very, very particularly split the audio between left and right. So my left VFO was 90% here and 10% here, and my right VFO was 90% here and 10% here. And that's how I recorded it. Therefore, when you are listening to, let's say, a pile-up, you will get a broad spectrum. It's like a stereo image where you'll have longer distance on the left and shorter distances on the right, and a bit of a mix and match. Now, I do this very often when I stream, and I can't help it. But when I stream, I get a bit of a pile-up. Right, it's just the way of the world. It's what happens. What I'm trying to say is there's a new experience in here. So if you've got like an FT1000 MP, one of the old ones, right? FT1000D, I think it was. That was a nice radio, AC, 200 watt. The 756 Pro, the old Icon. There is a number of older radios that aren't too expensive, that are dual VFO, all right, which you can do this trick with. So how I actually do it is I copy my main VFO from the left to the right, and then I've got a tracking button. I just hit tracking on. So when I move my main VFO, both radios move exactly in synchrony. Synchronously. It's something like that. It's just a beautiful experience. But what you're going to need for your second VFO, because I know there's plenty of people with 990s, 7610s, all sorts of radios. You don't need a big transmit coax, but you need something like RG58 or better, out to the backyard, out to your back garden, whatever, and put in one of those a loop on the ground. All right, it's pennies. I think it's. I can't convert this to metric. I know it's 15 meters by 15 feet by 15 feet square, right? Which sounds like about 4 meters by 4 meters. And then a little loop on the ground. It's a binocular called. You can buy them pre-made, right? A loop on the ground transformer. $10 or something. Cheap coax back to your second VFO. Now what you've got, now you can have a nice big vertical, something on your left VFO, great for transmit, long hops, low angle, and then you get the benefit of both. You will let on your receive, particularly on 40, 80 and 160. You get this stereo image, and it's lovely because even if you're not running a pile-up, but sometimes you'll get these people, and it's happened to me, where they'll go from the right ear to the left ear and back, right? Not QSB, it's changing polarity. If you only had one antenna, you've got heavy QSB. Not necessarily. So that's kind of 14 below. 20 and above, a loop on the ground doesn't work so well. But I've got my Yagi on my left ear, and very often I'll put my, Yagi, 20 meter Yagi there. I'll put my big vertical on my right ear. So people off the back of the beam, I can hear them and still hear them, you see, because I might be doing like 1,000 watts. They hear me 5 and 7 and they call in. And I've got, basically, if I'm facing the US, I've got my US on my left ear and I know I'll have Europe on my right ear. It's great. So if you've got a 2 VFO radio or you consider upgrading, do it and then get an extra piece of coax, loop on the ground and, live in a new world. It is different to being in this mono world. Let me just, if you get your headphones out, okay, and I'll just play a couple of the pile-up segments. For the first segment I'm going to play is the fella from where Italy came through. Just listen to this. Okay, Italy Kilo 1, Golf Papa Golf, 5 miles. Roger, good afternoon. Italy Kilo 1, Golf Papa Golf, 590, yourself. If you've got your headphones on, you'll notice he was on very clearly one side. I'll play you another couple of pile-ups. Maybe imagine they were calling you. Maybe imagine you're just listening. But because your brain is very clever at picking out like segments, it's like a compass point, right? You'll be able to hear the guy here, or the station here, you'll be able to hear the station here. Listen, I'll play a couple of these and we'll wind up. Papa Delta in Romeo Oscar. Thank you. I'll close off by playing the audio. Get your headphones out though and listen. All right, that's the important thing. Enjoy your radio. I'll play the clip now. I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Thank you. Oscar November 3. Mike Oscar Hotel, so Portugal. Papa Delta 1 Alpha Juliet, is that correct? Thank you. Thank you. Charlie Foxtrot. Thank you. X-ray. And thank you. Bravo, Mike X-ray. I got a input back, go ahead. Oscar, November 3. Papa Delta 2, Golf Charlie. Okay, Oscar November 3, Bravo Tokyo, Thierry, thank you.